promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
There we go. There we go. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? How are we doing today, man? Exposing some fraud going on. Shout out to everybody, man. Boy, definitely one cruel life that we live, right? A lot of dark circles going around our schools, especially the serious issues up there in Foster Gloucester. And we ain't talking about Foster Gloucester, no school. But what is going on? Let me know if you have, if y'all can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Holler if you can hear me, man. What is going on? Man, the quiet town of Foster Gloucester, man, where parents send their school children off to school with hopes and dreams, that they'll actually be safe throughout the day. But do we actually even know who are in our schools? Do we know who's teaching our kids? Do we know who's in these classrooms? I mean, Ponaganset has a long history of some crazy, wild sex scandals going on. Under Palazzo, in the last 5 years, you had our buddy Jake, who was having sex throughout Ponaganset. Let me make sure y'all can you hear me? Test, test, test. Jake, who is, going around Ponaganset sleeping around. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. How is the sound? Let me see. How's the sound? How is the sound, everybody? Can you hear me? We're going to talk about a couple things today. Ponaganset teachers, several restraining orders. A new teacher, not the teacher that we were talking about, a new, restraining orders and arrest a couple weeks ago up at Ponaganset. And then I think another arrest at his home over there in Cranston. But we send our kids off to school so they could be safe. We send our kids off to school so they could be safe. And then what ends up happening, man? Not all the time are they safe. We hear of all the BS going down in Ponaganset. We heard about what happened down at the trap last weekend, but it's getting real over there in Ponaganset. But let me check the sound, before we go any further. All right, there we go. We have sound. But all right, we're going to get into this, man. Big shout out to the people that help us make this possible. Y'all know who you are.
Not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Load up, dick.
to rip it off of them. So what they offering? Bring the coffin in, cause they acting like Superman, so Superman can never walk again. Pushing in the Honda, then I'm hitting that accordion, cause for them keys you'll get stretched out, that's an accordion. I'm what they eyeing, cause I am hot as an iron, and almost nice as the guy in this cypher reppin' Rhode Island. Wait, ask anybody when the track's out, that's everybody, this a 4-1 black. When I'm up in the booth,
we don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no, I got it all back. They just wanna talk, so we gonna talk facts. Got it out the mud, yeah. Really on the blood, yeah, they know it's on,
Oh, what's going on? What's up, everybody, man? We back. What is going on? Let me get this picture out of here, man. We back, man. Another spectacular day. Ponaganset. More news coming out of Ponaganset. Crazy what's going on up there. Never mind what this lady done. We got more news coming out of Ponaganset. Do we know? I got a question for all you, for the parents and everything. Do we know who's teaching our kids? You know what I mean? Do we know who's in these classrooms? Do we know the people on these sidelines? Do we know the men and women that are interacting with our kids 7-8 hours a day? Do we know who's potentially grooming our children? Do we know who's leading our children for the future? Do we really know these people? How good is a school vetting these teachers, these staff members? How come a lot of them turn out to be pervs? And I can't even say that respectfully, because definitely in that nice little town of Foster, Gloucester, where parents are sending their school children off, paying all them damn taxes, just so that school, that educational institution, so it could become a stage for some outrageous BS with some crazy characters. Are we really scratching our head in disbelief saying, did teachers really know that this lady was having relations with students? And if you're trying to call me now, I'm doing a live. Like, you can't save me. People are trying to call, oh no, stop. No, there ain't no stop. You know what I mean? But do we know who's in these schools? Do we know who the teachers are? I mean, do we know who's up in these schools playing doctor at a whole new level? But instead of a game, it's just a chilling reminder of how far some will go under the guise of authority. The fact that this type of behavior has roots that can stretch all the way back to North Smithfield. And it's the kind of plot and twist, you couldn't even write this kind of script in a movie. One can only wonder what type of meeting, Gradell, the principal, is having with Palazzo. Are they really pulling their hair out? Are they too busy discussing the latest trends, let's say in athletic wear, to notice a storm is brewing in their own house? A storm is brewing. You start going down the line and you start doing BCI checks, on some of the staff members at Ponaganset, because that's what it comes down to, just randomly checking people's BCIs and seeing who is teaching our children, what type of people are they. And then when I come across someone that has restraining orders, whether active or recently in the past, for SA, and I hope we know what SA stands for, have restraining orders for SA, and seeing that this person is an active member of a program, an active member of the sports program, a member of a teaching staff, it kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder, how is this person, even though they haven't been tried, but they still have active restraining orders, whether they're current restraining orders, whether they're in the past, they still have active restraining orders, for abuse prevention order. What you're looking at on the screen right now is an abuse prevention order. Look at the dates, active. You won't see the minor child's name because it's an abuse prevention order for a child under the age of 6 years old. This isn't the only order of prevention. Now, this man is a teacher in the school. Another abuse prevention order. Another one to stay away from the said child. Of course, they're going to keep the child's name off here. Here's another prevention order. So you got orders of, let me see, I think I even have another one. So you got restraining orders, for assault. There was an incident at the there was an incident last week. There was an arrest made at the game. I want to say it was one of the football games. He was arrested at the game. Then he goes back home in Cranston, and I got to check this out, but I think there might have been another arrest made at the home as well. Let me see if I could get this picture up on here. So there was another prevention order that was also filed, but we send our kids to school thinking that our kids are gonna be safe. And do we really know that our kids are safe? You look at the the former gym teacher, the one on the screen. And let me tell you, it's not the first time. We could go back to the former athletic director, Jake Nealon, who was caught multiple times having intercourse in the school building. But his mother's a big time, on the school committee, and Renee Palazzo, was afraid of her, so you let that slide. But he didn't get caught once on the desk, not twice in the corner, not again in his athletic director's office, to the point where Renee Palazzo had to replace the wooden doors and put doors with glass on them just to get staff members to stop having intercourse in Ponaganset High School. That is a fact. His assistant, Sal, who is now at East Greenwich High School. Sal was driving around. There's cheerleaders underage, no license, driving his car on the grounds of Ponaganset High School. A staff member sees them. Whoa, what's going on? Shut the car off. The dean of students come walking out at the same time. Do you see what's going on here? Do you see the athletic trainer who's now at East Greenwich, who always had girls hanging around his office? Do you see him with a carload of underage children? You see him in the back seat with these underage children. A report was filed. Go check it out. Do a FOIA request. Assistant director, I can even tell you the month, the date that this incident happened. Nobody knew that the gym teacher was doing the nappy dugout with students. But she was told that you and this particular student cannot be in the same areas together at the same time. That is a fact. There was an incident last week up in North Smithfield at the what do you call it? The where who's that? Who's that? The kindergarten teacher that has all the backup. He's backed up by the Joyces. He's backed up by the Rizzos, by the Nealings. I gotta look up his name, but he's yelling all this stuff, about the situation that went on with the gym teacher. You know what I mean? Like, just really acting. Trying to get a picture up here. So this is our man right here. Now what we have here is another order of protection. What we have here is another order of protection allegedly Bailey Braga. The same one that was arrested last week, I believe, allegedly, at Situate High School. And I believe he also had an incident at his home. So I just want to know what Ponaganset is doing. You have people that have active, orders of protection. You have teachers that are banging out students, right? You have teachers that are banging out teachers. Like, what is it with the gym teachers? Is restraining orders not a red flag? I mean, alarming revelation here, And then if you look back, I got this other paperwork on him for assault, on a minor where his father had him tune up some kid at a basketball game, Foster versus, I think, Situate. We have that police report that just came in. And these restraining orders against a child under the age of 6 is crazy. It sounds less like a school. I mean, more like a poorly scripted horror movie, everything that's been going on at Ponaganset. And how many other teachers are going to be thrown under the bus? They already said there's 3 teachers that admitted having knowledge of this situation. I mean, this is like a horror movie. How does one even manage to really get this many restraining orders without someone stepping in and saying, hey, maybe this person has a problem. Maybe this person, Bailey Braga, should not be around children, allegedly. I mean, this is public record. We see the restraining orders. We see the black and white. Maybe this person just shouldn't be around kids. You think the principal, who lawyered up, you think maybe the principal and the superintendent would have a checklist for hiring teachers? Like, maybe let's make sure that this person isn't a ripper. Let's make sure this person ain't going to try to go up in our students. You know what I mean? Or let's make sure this resource officer isn't going to try to date one of the kids. Or maybe this person just isn't appropriate to be teaching in our facility. Maybe this person is just not appropriate to be an educator, to be around children in general. If I was a parent at Ponaganset, I wouldn't want anybody with a restraining order around any of my kids. I wouldn't want anybody with a restraining order around any of my kids, especially for SA of a child. I don't know the situation, but I've seen a lot of video that makes it look, you're not a good person, buddy. You know, I seen video from the Worcester police station of your interactions, and we will play them in good time. You know, but these people are just not good people. So what is going on with the hiring process up there at Ponaganset? Maybe you guys should have a checklist. Maybe multiple restraining orders would be a red flag. But the only thing that you're checking was their inboxes that say they have connection to the school committee. They're a Joyce, they're a Rizzo, they're a Kneeling. All right? That, you know, the box checks. Just like the assistant coach when Jake Kneeling was a coach for Ponaganset. Well, that was when Coach Cook was there. Coach Cook fires him. Next thing you know, Coach Cook is meeting the new athletic director, Jake. Jimmy's probably like, oh my God, I just fired this guy. Oh, of course. You know, the assistant athletic director affair. That went on up there to the point that several people got cease and desist letters. Even parents got cease and desist letters when they were talking about this. I got a cease and desist letter from Cato. And and I don't think Cato's innocent in this. And I don't think that the other guy either, the guy on the school committee, because, you know, we got reason to believe that somebody went to one of the coaches about all this. They went to one of the coaches and they said to the coach that the kids said that they had sexual activity with the gym teacher. And what did Cato say? Oh, them are just boys. Them are just boys. You know, let's not forget the former assistant athletic director that was caught in this scandalous affair with another teacher during school hours. I mean, who knew all the real drama was going to go down in the teacher's lounge rather than the football field? Who knew that, you know, this teacher was going to be giving out the nappy dugout? And then if you look at comments, they say that this goes back all the way to North Smithfield. Someone said yesterday that she applied for the Cranston job. You know, can you only imagine the awkwardness of the staff meetings? You know, so how about, you know, the new curriculum? You know, it's likely to be met with a lot of uncomfortable shuffling and gazes. I don't worry about our sex education teacher, got this covered. Horrible. You know, horrible. And then, like I said earlier, we have Jake's assistant, Sal, who found himself in a car with underage girls while the world outside continued blissfully unaware. That paperwork, you can find that with a FOIA request in the school office. That's right, it's documented. Oh, yeah, and then Sal went to East Greenwich and got a nice little job over there. So I wonder if all the girls hang around Sal's office in EG as well. But you'd think that someone in a position of authority would have recognized these potential consequences that were going around at Ponaganset, would see these actions. But here we are left to wonder what kind of training did these individuals at Ponaganset have? What type of training did they receive? More likely, didn't receive. I mean, with all these incidents that are swirling around at Ponaganset, you have to question the leadership at the top of the program. The principal, lawyers up, the superintendent. Who should be the guardians for your small children? Should you have to worry about safety? Should you have to worry about your kid, a grown woman, on top of them? Your daughter, a grown man, groping her? People with restraining orders teaching the classroom. Whether there's been an arrest made or not, I know there's been other arrests made, other charges made for this individual. While the police investigate, should this person be in classrooms in a school building alone with our children? Allegedly, should Bailey Braga be alone with our children at any point of the day with abuse prevention orders? Not one, not two, not three, four. The community's just watching in horror. We need a thorough investigation, accountability for those that chose to sweep these issues under the rug instead of addressing them head on. Riddell, you need to just resign now. Palazzo, resign now. I'll wait for my cease and desist. You can mail it to me. You got the address. I anticipate it. I know the teachers union shut down the regular news about this story, But rather than the laughing at the absurdity of this situation, it's really crucial for parents, not only in Ponaganset, all communities, to unite and demand transparency and reform from these schools. An investigation going on in Cumberland with the quarterback coach, Dante. He goes up there, has whatever happened with him and a student. School committee confirms, yes, there was an incident. We are investigating. We deserve better. It's time for leaders to step up. Take responsibility. Handle your damn school. Make sure they're safe. A safe place to learn. A safe place to grow. I mean, the weirdos, the strangers, the this, the that, stranger danger. It's not even a stranger we got to watch out for. It's the people in our children's classrooms. That's who we got to watch out for. It's people like this that lawyer up that we have to watch out for, that have things to hide. It's weirdos like this that just put lipstick on and mascara all over their face. These weirdos like this. And when you see him, he's all like this, peaceful and calm. I read police reports going back to Anna Marie, in college where, the violence was just out of control, but we have all the paperwork. We have all the videos, but come on now. When are we going to protect our children? Who else in these schools? Who else in these schools really is a predator? How many predators do we have in these schools? What the heck is going on in these schools? I mean, these stories make your blood boil when, people like this have active orders of protection against minor children under 6 years old. I mean, let's get right into it, right? You found out teacher at Ponaganset High School has been slapped with not one, not two, but a few restraining orders. Orders of protection for SA on a child under 6 years old. That's crazy. A child under six? How does this even happen? How do you think schools vet the staff better than this? I ain't a brain surgeon, but if you have multiple restraining orders, like I said, that should be a red flag, right? I mean, it's mind boggling. Parents are freaking out. I don't blame them. They trusted the school to keep their kids safe. And now you got to question everything about the process, everything about the vetting process. Palazzo just sitting there with her hands under her buttocks, probably drafting some statement that's going to do nothing but push everyone to the side while the real issues get swept under the rug like they usually do at Ponaganset. We'll review our policies, but because, what's going on, we really can't talk about anything. Oops, our bad. We didn't realize that we were hiring a monster. How many warning signs do you need before you take action? Don't even get me started on the transparency calls from the community. It's a little late for that, right? Because when it comes to protecting children, there should be zero tolerance for this type of neglect. But now you got to get the law enforcement involved, which means it's going to be drag on longer than a bad reality show. Parents are left in the dock. Kids are potentially at risk, all because someone decided to ignore common sense. I mean, it's just infuriating. Schools should be safe havens for kids, not breeding grounds for this type of behavior. If you're a teacher with that kind of history, we will weed you out. And you should be nowhere near kids. You shouldn't be teaching them. You shouldn't be talking to them. You're a predator of the worst kind. We need more accountability, no more half-ass attempts, damage control. Parents deserve to know that your kids are freaking safe when they walk through the doors. And you ain't trying to turn my little boy into a princess, and he didn't even have a chance to be a prince yet. Maybe we ain't going to get the answers today, but you bet, Pelosi, we'll be keeping an eye on this shit. And listen, if you have any information about any of this stuff, Ponaganset, any school district, and nobody's listening to you, hit me up, drop the email, canwekeepitreal5@gmail.com. Don't be silenced. Let somebody be your voice. If no one's going to be your voice, I'll be your voice. The Cato rule, big disclaimer here, the views, information, opinions expressed on the Can We Keep It Real podcast are solely the views of the individuals involved and do not represent the views of any third party or any platform. He's another one that knew about this. Parent already said, yup, we told them. Gym teacher resigns amid allegations. I bet she did. I don't know anything and don't want to know anything. Another parent claims they mentioned to a coach she overheard her son and friends discussing sex acts with the gym teacher and was met with "kids just talk." That was Cato. A former female student described an atmosphere where the teachers would purposely stand in front of boys and slowly grind into them. Yo, crazy. And this guy is on the program, right? Town Council Will Worthy said he was shocked to learn of the allegations. He said he was disgusted to hear that the teacher's actions were possibly known without any taken before now. You know about this, Will, right? Aren't you on the football team? Just curious. I mean, so let's get it right, right? So we found out there's a teacher at Ponaganset that's been slapped with multiple active restraining orders for SA on a child under 6 years old, right? What the actual heck is going on here? I mean, who's doing the vetting? How does this even get by? How does this happen? How are schools not vetting these staff members? And breaking news, investigation uncovers disturbing allegations against Ponaganset High School teacher. And a shocking development comes to light that a teacher has had multiple restraining orders. More coming out soon. I got to get more information on the arrest, but the restraining orders we know allegedly is this man. I have to say allegedly, legally. We know it is this man. It is Braga, Bailey Braga. Allegedly, Bailey Braga has the restraining orders. You know, you just have to say allegedly. You know, but you can't sue me. I have nothing to sue, so good luck with that. You know, but Bailey Braga has the abuse prevention order. Is this enough? You know, even if it wasn't in the past, is that enough? Should he be teaching at these schools? Should that be enough? Kid is petrified. Yes, he's the same person that was arrested at Situate High School not Situate High School. No. This was at Ponaganset. If you're talking about the past arrest, I'm not sure who was arrested at Situate, but I know they said at one of the games, it might have been at Situate because they also play games over there. But at one of the games, somebody said that this man got into an argument with some parents or something. There was an arrest made, allegedly. I don't have the paperwork, so I just want to say allegedly, you know, and then I think later on that night, you know, in another town, there was also another one. But, you know, today we're talking about the restraining orders, you know, against this man, you know, so we got too many restraining orders, you know, and this should definitely be a red flag against our boy Bailey. How do you even get a job in the school anyway? I mean, if you get any information on the arrest, please send it to canwekeepitreal5@gmail.com. Any teachers that need to be exposed, schools, whatever it is, man, you know, we have to start exposing these people. You know, we can't have pedos. We can't have PDF files. That's what we call them. We can't have PDF files in the schools. So, I hope we got this off, you know, with full transparency. You know, I know how you already feel. You're like, I can't stand that kid.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad.
Throughout the football season, every Friday night, we bring you exclusive sideline access and post-game interviews. We go straight to the head coaches, asking tough questions live with no edits. Just real, honest conversations.
We're now seeking sponsorships for our platform. Both businesses and individuals can support us through booster ads, helping to amplify our reach and impact. Your support means the world to us, and together we can continue to provide the coverage our community deserves.
We're reaching out for your help. Any small donations, even as little as the cost of a cup of coffee, can make a huge difference in keeping our platform alive and thriving. Can We Keep It Real podcast is brought to you by Beast Coast Football Factory and HomeSmart Professionals. Please consider joining our team today.